Where is everybody? Woo. Okay, here's one. Good morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing Hush, number 1040 in your teal hymnal. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? I'm so glad that trouble don't last always. I'm so glad that trouble don't last always. I'm so glad trouble don't last always. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Please be seated.
Good morning, and welcome to this Sunday service of the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship located in Durham, North Carolina. I'm the Reverend Jim Lewis, Minister of Lifespan Faith Development and Pastoral Care. And whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, gender identity, whomever you love, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we welcome you. If you're new to this community, and especially if you are visiting with us today, I invite you to rise in body or spirit so that we may, and if you're in the chat box, also let us know watching the live stream so that we may give you an ERUUF welcome. Anybody out there visiting today? Welcome. Oh my gosh. Wow, a lot of people today. And hello, anybody in the chat box. Thank you for choosing to spend your Sunday morning with us. If you have children or youth with you, they're invited to attend one of our religious education classes when the children are sung out after the time for all ages in the service. We also invite you who are visiting to the Inquirer's class for visitors and newcomers, which takes place in the Care Building next door or online via Zoom directly after service. And you are also welcome to join us for Fellowship Hour in the Fellowship Hall right across the way, directly after service. There's always a lot going on here at ERUUF, both today and throughout the week. You can find out more in the e-news and on the homepage of our website at eruuf.org under Events. Today specifically, if you are interested in reproductive justice, we welcome you to meet with Reverend Jacqueline at 12:30 in the Fellowship Hall right across the way. That's at 12:30. And we also have an adult programs course beginning after service today in the chapel right behind you, or next to you maybe. Today's music is provided by the Beloved Community Chorus, music director Wendy Looker, and pianist Kate Lewis. Today's tech team is King Sage and Michelle Sager. Stephen Daniel and Gavin Trump are on sound. Oh, Scott Gaskins. I'm sorry, I had the wrong information. Scott Gaskins, my apologies. Now would be a good time to turn off or place in worship mode any devices you might have on your person. And we're going to prepare to center ourselves as we prepare for a ritual in the life of our community.
We have a tradition here at ERUUF, and when we bless our babies, we present them with a rose from which we remove the thorns as a symbol that our children are being cared for by us and can count on us to take good care of them. And then when our children grow up and they are bridging as they head off to college, we give them a rose with thorns to symbolize that we have prepared them for the world. And then when a member of our beloved community transitions, dies from this form of life as human, as we know it, we also present a rose. And today we have a rose of remembrance for four of our beloveds who have passed away over the last several months. And so we light a candle in their names, Carol Seeley Scott, who passed away on October 19th. And she joined ERUUF 21 years ago in 2001. Roger Gorham passed away on January 27th. He joined ERUUF 13 years ago in 2010. And Brent Garner passed away this month on February 4th, and he joined ERUUF also 13 years ago in 2010. And that family in particular has experienced a great deal of loss over the last year. And so our hearts go out to them. And then Kathy Kinzer died on February 18th, and she joined ERUUF just 7 years ago in 2015. And so in this case, we put the petals of a rose on the waters of life as we honor them. And if you would please join me for a brief moment of prayer and silence. Spirit of life and love, we are grateful for community. We are grateful that we get to be here for our lives, for the chances and changes of our lives, that we are here, both the young among us and those who have left us. And so we express our gratitude for these wonderful people who were members of this community. And we pray for their families and we hold them in our hearts at this time for a brief moment of silence. And may their families receive the comfort and peace they might need at this time. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be. And we will now continue with our service.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Until the killing of black men, black mother sons, is as important as the killing of white men, white mother sons. That which touches me most is that I had a chance to work with people, passing on to others that which was passed on to me. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. To me, young people come first. They have the courage where we failed. And if I can but shed some light as they carry us through the gale, the older I get, the better I know that the secret of my going on is when the reins are in the hands of the young who dare to run against the storm. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Not needing to clutch for power, not needing the light just to shine on me. I need to be one in the number as we stand against tyranny. Struggling myself don't mean a whole lot. I've come to realize that teaching others to stand up and fight is the only way our struggle survives. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. I'm a woman who speaks with a voice, and I must be heard. Sometimes I can be quite difficult. I'll bow to no man's word. Whoa, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes.
think people are trying to find a seat. Some of you, if you can just scooch in a bit or let them in so that they can get to the middle of the row. If you want to stay on the end, that would be so helpful, especially the little ones. Thank you. Spirit of the circle that is love, we are here, the gathered community stirred like leaves that rustle around sacred trees, tossed hither and yon until we come to rest together, finding the sacred center within each of us, quietly, softly.
We come to gather strength from each other. We come to give strength to each other. We come to express our great gratitude for the strength we have.
Spirit of the circle that is love, as we twirl in this dance that is life, we give thanks for the reminders of each day, of our tasks of ministering to the other with a searching glance, a safe touch, a generous smile, a thoughtful word. We offer our thanks for the reminders that we are always building our beloved community.
For reminders that through our covenant with you, Spirit of the circle that is love, we covenant with each other and are made whole. In gratitude, we come together, opening our hearts and minds. We discover who we are, separate from each other and within one another.
And may the light of our chalice this morning remind us that in this circle that holds all life, may we ever work toward widening its boundaries until there are none. And so let us now sing together. Wendy will lead us.
Please rise in body or spirit. Join us in singing hymn number 18 in the gray hymnal, What Wondrous Love. What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that brings my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, of my soul? Takes away the pain of my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down beneath my sorrow's ground, friends to me gathered round, oh my soul, friends to me gathered round, oh my soul. To love and to all friends I will sing, I will sing. To love and to all friends I will sing. To with thanks unto the end, I will sing, I will sing. With thanks unto
Good morning. Oh my gosh. People already know what to do. While the path was clear. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, my smallest and mediumest and largest people and the children at heart coming down. Good morning to all the lovely burbles of conversation I still hear, people excited to see one another. Let's scoot in or scoot out. Here, let's scoot out a little bit because we still got some people coming down this road. Oh, here, can we? There we go. There we go. Now we got it. Now we got the motion. We're going to scoot. Can we scoot up? Can we scoot up just a little bit right here so we can get some people in the back? Can we keep scooting up? Can we keep scooting up? Can we keep scooting around? I got some lovely people back here who are still in the aisle. We're going to try and fit them in. And if you want to scoot around on this side too, you can. There's a little bit more space over here. Unless you just really like sitting on the aisle. Good morning. Good morning. Oh my gosh, it feels like there's so many people here today. Wow. Well, before we start this story today, I want to ask you a question. To all my people down here and all my people up here and all my people out there in the virtual spaces. How many people have been angry before? Okay, how many people have never been angry in their whole life? Maybe that's a better question. Maybe a couple people. Okay, it's possible. It's possible. Now here's a question. Is anger a good thing, a bad thing, or something else? I hear some bad, I hear some good. Something else? It can be good. Yes, it depends on how you decide to get that anger out, doesn't it? Yeah. So good response is everybody, because sometimes when we're angry, we can use that in really good ways, and sometimes when we're angry, gosh, we use it in ways that aren't quite so good. But so our book today is about somebody who got angry. It's about somebody who got angry, and it's called Allie All Along. You see Allie down here in the corner, and you see Allie's brother up here. So we're going to take a little journey with Allie. I know. And it starts with a snap. Allie's crayon broke. I blinked. She was suddenly furious, fuming, frustrated, and so angry. She looks pretty angry. She stomped, smashed, crashed, and threw a tantrum, a fuss, and a fit. She seems pretty angry. So her brother had an idea. I gave her a pillow to punch so she wouldn't break other stuff. That got the worst of the angry off. Not like a layer of angry off. Okay. Maybe a strategy there for sometimes. I mean, I like my pillows. I personally don't want to punch my pillows, but it is better than punching other things. Still, Allie was ferocious, fierce, and very angry. Yes, indeed, you are correct. I asked her why, but she wouldn't say. So I told her to squeeze her favorite toy as tight as she could. He didn't mind. He's full of stuffing. You do. You have a stuffy. There's a couple of stuffies down here today. It looked like it helped. A little. Maybe a little less angry. But Allie was still irritable and angry. Maybe she didn't even know why. I feel that way too sometimes. How many people have kind of been medium angry before? Like medium angry, like you're angry, but you're managing it. It's okay to be angry. So I suggested, try to take a deep breath, but don't hold it too long. Pretend my fingers are candles. Ready? And you can blow them out. You see Allie is blowing the candles out face. That seemed to help some more.
You've been making a rainbow.
It is a rainbow. How about that? Then she was just plain old regular angry. Just your everyday angry. And maybe a little sad too. How many of you have been angry with a little bit of sad? Yeah. I helped her count backwards from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The rest of the angry fell away, and there she was. Hug, please. Yeah. I knew she was in there all along. We're all in there all along. And a little secret to our book cover. See Allie all fuzzy? But then you see Allie all along, right there under the book cover too. So thinking about how we show up and knowing that all kinds of ways are okay to feel, it's what we do with them. We're going to head off to RE in the Care Building. It is so lovely to see you this morning, and if you continue down the aisle, you'll get there. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, in every
That was such a great story. I really liked that one. In Loving Our Anger, Lama Rod Owens writes that anger and love can exist together. Part of this duet means singing about the practice of love for ourselves and the love of wanting others to be happy. This practice can actually hold the space for the anger to be there. And this frees up my compulsory relationship to it, he says, which results in reducing violence against myself and others. Anger is telling me something important about me and about how I am out of balance. But beneath that, the love is helping me to move beneath the anger, to sit with my basic woundedness or heartbreak. And all that's complex and nuanced and, in general, very, very uncomfortable. But I have to admit that loving my anger is also dangerous. This kind of love only breaks my heart over and over again. My anger is always telling the truth about things that I don't want to deal with. It is telling me that there are things that are out of balance. It is telling me that I am hurt. When I love my anger in this way, I am also exposing myself to the truth about myself and about the world. To love my anger means that I must love myself. This is what a loving and liberatory relationship with anger demands. And these demands must be met fully without reserve or aversion, because the consequences mean that my love of anger alone turns to an abuse where I begin to demand of my anger to annihilate what I believe the root of my hurt to be. We need to own our anger, but we don't have to operate from that anger. We can operate from the love while anger continues to inform what's going on. But it also continues to direct us back to our hurt and to let the hurt connect us to others, and to let the broken heart remind us that we're not the only one in the world struggling. We are all experiencing broken hearts. I find this realization to be incredibly important for me, he writes. It continually reminds me that I am not special because I am hurting. I am basically just like everyone else. As Mother Audre Lorde has taught us, there is a lot of data in anger. That data is there to help us learn from it. Anger is teaching us how to be free, how to live dynamic and rich lives, cultivating and embracing and expressing our self-agency, setting boundaries, and reducing the harm we experience as individuals and collectives. To allow anger to do this, we have to love it. And in loving it, let it show us what it really is. And loving it, it shows us where the hurt is. Loving our anger invites it into a transformative space where it emerges as the teacher. If we bypass this precious opportunity to enter into this transformative space, which is the space of tension, anxiety, and sometimes terror, then we're missing something. My pain emerges to teach me how to love it and to develop a different relationship to it. If we don't show up to work with that data, then we miss the teaching. And then we keep stumbling back into our old ways of being that actually never serve anyone. That's Lama Rod Owens.
As we enter into this time of meditation and prayer, I invite you to find the way of being in your body where you are that is most comfortable. To let your eyes relax. If you are comfortable, perhaps to close them or to let them lose focus. and take a breath. Spirit of life, source of love, source of love, source of love. This is a community where love circulates among people and hearts and minds and journeys. I'm grateful for that energy that flows in this space. So blessed be the love in this community today. Blessed be the love, the sources of passion and compassion, of care and inspiration, the welling up vitality moving toward justice and support, the ways in which we wrap our hearts around each other to warm each other outside and inside. And also, blessed be the anger and the broken hearts in this community today. Anger born forward from, at times, the small things, giving us indeed data on ourselves and our journey. And also anger and broken hearts born forward from injustice, the feeling that there are things that are not right, burdens and pain put upon ourselves and others unfairly. The anger born forward from grief and pain that seeps out of that place of sorrow and informs us of losses, experiences, and love held. The stress, sorrow, fear, and indeed anger and broken hearts that may rise up in us, knowing that there are events in our world that feel hard and challenging. Earthquakes and their tragedy in Turkey and in other locations around the globe. Yesterday, threats of an anti-Semitic day of hate in the United States. And in the United States, the proposal of over 300 anti-LGBTQ state laws this year, over 150 of which are aimed at limiting the rights of trans people. There are reasons to be angry and every other feeling that intersects with that. And we are blessed to be part of a tradition that includes the belief that we can gain understanding from our anger and our broken hearts. And when lived into with the best we can be, when lived into with our love, that growth, care, and change can be possible. Among the blessings of love and anger and broken hearts in this space today, we hold sorrow too. Sorrow for the recent deaths of Brent Garner and Kathy Kinzer, and sorrow for Gene Preston's recent stroke, from which he is now recovering at home. May we send some of our love toward Gene and the families of Kathy and Gene and Brent as they take the next steps on their journeys. For all the possibilities of this moment, today and beyond, and for all the possible movement and change of anger and broken hearts, and for the blessings of love, I give thanks today. Amen, and blessed be.
A few weeks ago, I preached about love and justice, and the very next day, Reverend Daniel and I received an email from someone who said that afterwards, a group had discussed the sermon, and while they found it inspiring, they noted that we Unitarian Universalists teach a lot about leading with love in general and drawing our circle wider, but more practicals seem to be needed around how to actually make this happen when faced with day-to-day realities of being in relationship with others. They wanted more guidance on staying at the table and dealing with conflict when faced with someone who has hurt us or is angry with us. The group wanted to know how to engage on a deeper level, thereby widening the circle more fully through more authentic relationships. I must say that I was greatly moved by this email and the knowledge that what we offer here is not only generating discussion, but the desire to engage more fully and more deeply. I actually preach about love every year. And not only in the month of February, but at other times as well, out of my personal commitment to love as a virtue, a value, a truth. Because as Martin Luther King Jr., who spoke a lot about love as well, as he said, I have decided to stick to love. For I know that love is ultimately the only answer to humankind's problems, and I'm going to talk about it everywhere I go. I'm not talking about emotional bosh when I talk about love. I'm talking about a strong, demanding love, and I have seen too much hate. If you are seeking the highest good, he said, I think you can find it through love. There is something at the core of us humans that know this to be true, as every major religion of the world across all cultures teach this as a unifying truth. But as a member of the group here at ERUUF pointed out, how do we go beyond simply talking about love to actually developing the skill of loving? Of working through the ups and downs, the unpredictable nature, the joys and sorrows of being in human relationship, of remaining at it when it's easier to walk away or give up. How do we not only contend with the existence of hatred, violence, or oppression in the larger world, but also deal with annoyances, disagreements, or conflict in community? Not only when someone is rightly or wrongly angry with us, but when we ourselves feel the heat of emotion, which might begin with an irritating thought or annoyance at the action of another, and then it rises to full-blown anger. So I don't claim to have the answer for any of this. If I did, I would probably not be here because I would have solved the world's problems. The problems of relationships and couples, as well as the problems anywhere in this world. But I will say that I do appreciate that Lama Rod, a trained Tibetan Buddhist Lama, a teacher, talks about loving his anger. In part because anger or rage is often that extreme emotion within ourselves or in others that we greatly fear. We've all been conditioned to relate to our anger in particular ways, and we've also been conditioned to believe that the anger of some people in our culture is especially dangerous. In the violence that is the American culture, both historically and in this present day, most of us do not learn how to encounter our feelings in healthy ways. Or in faith communities like our own, we often engage in what is known as a spiritual bypass, Out of a desire to be a good person, to express our highest ideals, we leap past the reality of our feelings, especially when they're negative, in an attempt to focus on or transform them into what we perceive to be the more pleasant qualities, like happiness or love. It would appear to be the right thing to do. However, this form of spiritual bypass has the effect of avoidance, allowing us to remain in a comfort zone and not deal with what's really going on. For example, Lama Rod points out, we feel that bypassing anger is the best way to cut down on the violence stemming from our response to anger. However, this means that I am still not relating effectively with my anger. Even when conflict or negative actions or feelings are not coming from us, but are targeted toward us, that energy being focused our way does cause us to feel something in our body or mind, even when we attempt to repress or disengage from those feelings. So what is to be done? The psychiatrist Viktor Frankl, who was a survivor of 4 Nazi concentration camps, once said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. We cannot control what someone else does, whether they remain or walk away. What we can attempt is to deal with our own responses, which, if enacted in a healthy way, can lead to our eventual freedom. And when we are free, we can work to help get others free. So how do we control our response in healthy ways that are not about suppressing our emotions? I offer you 4 starter suggestions. First, we must be clear about our intentions, what we're committed to, where we're coming from. I'm clear, for example, that I'm committed to embodying and expressing love, to compassion, to doing no harm. These are my commitments every single day. Even when I, in my very human limitations, don't do these well, it is what I'm committed to and what I return to. It's where I locate my center and ground of being. It's the intention and focus of my personal and spiritual growth. It's in that clarity that I make choices in the space between stimulus and response that Viktor Frankl referred to. Being clear about our intentions and commitment allows us to know from what we'll choose. In Unitarian Universalism, many of us begin from our principles and our values, as well as the covenant that we share in our specific communities or groups. In that space between stimulus and response, we can decide to choose from those commitments, irrespective of what someone else does. This is not easy, but it can be our choice. Lama Rod has developed his own chosen response that he refers to as a justice-based philosophy of mindfulness called adaptive intersectional mindfulness. He defines it as the promoting, teaching, and practicing of a mindfulness that helps us to tell the truth of who we are, how we are, and what has made us and continues to shape us. It is decentering of materialistic happiness and redefining happiness as acceptance of what is. He says the acceptance is not condoning or celebrating what is. It is telling the truth that it is. This adaptive intersectional mindfulness remembers the body as being intricate and needing to be noticed and cared for. Most importantly, it offers insight into adapting what is conducive to the diminishment of harm to ourselves or to others. To fully embrace whatever commitments we might hold to calls for my next suggestion, which is to feel what we feel. And many of us might need professional support in doing this, and that is a very healthy thing. Our emotions, especially anger, as Audre Lorde said, provide us with data, and we can learn from it. Lama Rod describes that anger is teaching us how to be free, how to live dynamic and rich lives, cultivating, embracing, and expressing our self-agency, setting boundaries, and reducing the harm we experience as individuals and collectives. This is not to say that we operate from our anger, or that we use our anger or other emotions to direct harm toward others, including ourselves. We continue to operate from our commitment to love, to be kind and compassionate, to do no harm, even as we are conscious and aware of our feelings, which inform what's going on inside of us, to be curious about them, to listen to them, to listen within, and if needed, to perhaps pause so that we can create space to simply take care of ourselves. And expressing self-compassion in such a way, we ultimately express compassion toward others as well. When I take care of me, I ultimately take care of everybody I encounter. No one needs to see me showing up in a bad state. So no matter what side of this give and take that we're on, simple skills we might strive to cultivate are curiosity, listening, non-judgment, and compassion. That is, entering into the suffering of another as we acknowledge our own suffering. And the third suggestion is practice. While most of the choices I've just described between stimulus and response are initially not easy to put into action, be forewarned, they are not easy, especially during times of conflict or challenges. But they do become easier through committed practice. And by practice, I'm suggesting more than the repetition of activity, but specific types of sources that allow us to meet the challenges that we face on our day-to-day journey. In this case, these would be sources that contribute to our growth, in our commitments, and our well-being. And once again, we are not talking about materialistic commitments, but a dedication to a practice which contributes to our inner growth, to our innermost desires to be liberated and free. A practice that ultimately allows us to engage the space between stimulus and our response in a manner that becomes a natural outpouring of our highest ideals, our values, our covenantal faith. Sources of support that allow us to be reminded of our better selves and to also not get lost in delusion, which is possible when we are out of relationship with others. Several sources of support that are considered most basic are: 1, a guide. Any being who we identify as being on the path we seek and who can teach us to be wiser and kinder. Most of us have several guides in our lives, and consider for a moment who they might be in your life at this particular time. Who might your guides be? The second source of support is a wisdom text. So as UUs, we don't have a singular text as other traditions do, but this need not be a hindrance for us. In our pluralistic faith, it actually frees us to call upon a variety of texts and teachings that allow us to develop and deepen our wisdom. And so notice that I say wisdom and not intellectual knowledge or thoughtless pursuits. Wisdom texts can be physical writings, or in our 21st century world, they can also be movies, works of art, music, theater, dance, games. I say to my gaming friend here, social media, or a television show. Lama Rod suggests asking ourselves questions like, what materials am I relying on to help me develop clarity? What am I watching or reading or listening to that helps me to feel better? I always suggest to others that we be mindful of the information that we take in. Does it nourish wisdom, truth, compassion, and kindness, the opening of the heart? Or does it cause us to contract or shut down or sit in fear? Third is a religious faith or spiritual community that gathers together with specific intention. So you've got that covered, because we here at ERUUF are such a community that is distinct from our family of origin or an affinity group, friendship circle, or social club. We are in a covenantal relationship here. We hold to specific values and aim to create beloved community. We embrace the challenge of being a pluralistic community, which is not always as easy when we encounter one another in relationship or end up in conflict. But even in this, all is not lost. Lama Rod puts it this way. He says, I believe that the conflict we experience in community is a sacred conflict. I'm not speaking of the conflict that comes through the abuse of power, but the conflict that comes with trying to get along with others and navigating various personalities. A healthy community will have its share of people rubbing against each other, trying to get comfortable. It is through this rubbing that we learn to bring our practice into our interactions and to challenge ourselves to hold each other with kindness, but with a directness that expresses our needs, our boundaries, and values. It is this work that helps me to understand the spiritual community as being sacred and extraordinary. The most difficult aspect of this is to stay in relationship when things become difficult. And it's most important to set boundaries and to take care of ourselves. Sometimes we have to move back, hopefully holding an intention to connect at a later time. The fourth source is contemplation or meditation as a source and a practice. These practices are how we create spaciousness within, allowing ourselves to just grow silent for a few minutes each day, to simply listen, to be with ourselves, and come to know ourselves in a more intimate way, creating space within to hold our emotions. This past summer, I was on a silent retreat with others and was quite struck by all the chatter in my mind and the essence of my thoughts. It was the first time I had been on a silent retreat for more than a few days. I was on this retreat for over a week, and I thought, oh my goodness. And I was just talking to me. It was like, oh my goodness. And yet I learned so much about myself. It took several days for my mind to settle down. Oh, how wonderful it was when it did, that I could just sit and be and create that spaciousness within. And so there are many ways to practice contemplation or meditation, so many ways. And the Buddha once said it is possible to meditate by sitting, by standing, by walking, or lying down. So there are lots of ways that we can do this. And so some of these sources, and these are just 4 basic ones, there are many more besides, and some of them might be familiar from other traditions, and you can also add others that support you and sustain you. That's what you're looking for. Lama Rod actually named 7 of his own in what he calls the 7 homecomings. Reverend Howard Thurman acknowledged in the mid-20th century that love manifests itself through concrete actions. Someone noticed a picture that one of my sons gave me for something very special, and that person said to me, "Wow, that's love in the details." And that's what he's talking about here. Love manifesting itself in concrete actions. As many of you might know, Thurman was mentor to Martin Luther King Jr. and other leaders of the civil rights movement. He believed that it is through love as a practice, not an abstract concept, that we come to understand love more deeply. Thurman also emphasized that we must love in the particulars. What we call humanity, he said, has a name, was born, lives on a street, gets hungry, needs all the particular things we need. He believed that loving in the particulars is the grounding of community and hope. As co-founder of the first intercultural and interracial congregation in the United States, Thurman also invited everyone to cultivate an inner life and a foundational belief to call to community and to call to harmony. So to get started at developing the practical skills of love while remaining open to the truth of our emotions, anger or otherwise, we need only pick a quality of love and lean into the particulars of it. I decided last summer, after being on one of these meditation retreats, that I would commit myself to saying metta, loving kindness, for myself every day. And I have to say, it has changed me. It has changed my relationship with myself. It has changed my relationship with others. And that's just one quality of love that I decided to embrace every single day. We can pick any quality of love and lean into the particulars of it and practice operating from that choice. Compassion, kindness, respect, trust, honesty, mercy, or forgiveness. What would it be like to take one of these on and to lean into it every single day? You don't have to do them all. Just do one. It is transformative. Lean into it and then see where practicing love in the particular takes you. And ultimately, where it takes us. May it be so, my friends. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be. Every week we take up a collection for the needs of this community, both the operational needs and and other needs as well. And so when the greeters come forward, we'll take up this morning's collection, and everything beyond a pledge will go to Trees Durham as part of our Generosity Sunday collection.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things I should say. Say 'em loud, say 'em clear, for the whole round world to hear. I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. Remove all the bonds that keep us apart. Oh, I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and agree that everyone should be free. And I wish I could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things that I can do, though I'm way overdue. I'd be starting anew. And I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if I found I could fly. Oh, I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing, 'cause I'd know. Yes, I'd sing, 'cause I'd know. I would sing, 'cause I'd know how it feels to be free.
What a blessing, what a blessing and riches we have here in this congregation, and gifts and talent and song and just all that we bring, all that we have the capacity to create together in community. And I give gratitude for all of it. And Wendy will lead us in our closing hymn. Thank you, Miss Joan. That was wonderful.
Please rise, embody your spirit. Join me in singing Love Will Guide Us, number 131 in the Gray Hymnal. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us
loudly, adapted from the words of Carrie Gottfried, who writes, "Love loudly, spirit of light, of life, of all that is good and bad and in between. Give us the courage and inspiration to love loudly, to share our joy and compassion with others. Loving loudly is one of the greatest gifts of all. All it requires is one person who is willing to say to anyone and everyone, you are loved. You are worthy of love. You deserve to be loved." Friends, may we spread our love throughout our communities. Teach others to love loudly so that it begins to circle round so that we can hear it too. May it be so, my friends. Go in peace and go in love. Ashe.